All right. So latest news is Trump signed an order to allow, I think it was about 50 South African white, Dutch, and ancestry and nationality, because Africa was not their homeland. It only feels like home to them because their ancestors came over and took control like any other colonizers do. And he literally has signed an order to allow, so far, right now, 50 of them to come over to the United States out of fear of persecution. South African president, or however they do their leaders over there, literally said that America is being misinformed. Nobody's after them. If you don't know the history of South Africa is basically, literally, baby America. Apartheid started in 1948 or some shit, carried on to like the 1990s. So that's the apartheid, like the real like thick of it. But like the shit was going on for a while. The Dutch came over, basically colonized South Africa, and were literally the fucking minority. But because black people are so fucking kind-hearted, like literally, if you haven't read this book, go Google it. We aren't as bad as we should be. And that is fucking facts. Literally, these white Dutch motherfuckers, and I'm not talking about all Dutch people, so get your panties out of a bunch. But these particular descendants, and even the ones who have woke up, I'm not talking about you. But these particular ones literally came over there, made claims to this part of Africa, South Africa, and literally began to push the black people, who were the majority, who were native to the land, like out of having privileges in life and having literally access to, having access to a healthy life, a comfortable life, a life they deserved. It was their country. It was their country. It was their country. So they literally, apartheid is basically what we have, what we had in history as segregation. Literally, Nelson Mandela did a lot of work. A lot of Africans did a lot of work. The way that they were able to end apartheid in South Africa was because a lot of the Dutch Africans woke the fuck up, realized that it was wrong, and they literally, guess what? They helped out with the cause. But there was a lot of push from, citizens literally fighting and advocating for themselves, but it literally ended up being so beneficial when Dutch motherfuckers started to wake up and realize, like, this is not right, and actually helped out with the cause. That is morality. That is unity. That is the way that we have to do it. Now, saying that, just like in America, we have that. We have allies. We have unity, but we still have white supremacy. So there were still some motherfuckers bitter and sour about that in South Africa. Didn't change their feelings about it, probably made it worse and bitter. Now these bitches are crying about they fear persecution and shit because they're Dutch and they're white. Like, bitch, you bring that bullshit over here. We tied our own motherfucking, stupid ass, brainwashed ass people over here. Bring that shit over here and see what happens. Bring that shit over here and see what happens. We tied. America tied. America is woke the fuck up. America has a problem. And I mean America with the 3 Ks. Not America, the beautiful motherland. Not America, the beautiful motherland. America with the 3 Ks have a motherfucking problem. Because if you think for 1 second you're going to make us hear this rhetoric about how oh my gosh, we need to deport the illegal aliens, and we need to claim back our country, and there are crooks and there are thieves and there are thugs. Bitch, ain't nobody a bigger motherfucking crook or thug than motherfucking alphabet boys in our government. We've been watching it go along all day long. You literally come out years after you have destroyed generations of motherfucking people with crack and heroin, and literally come out and say, well, the CIA helped. The CIA was the one that passed that shit out like candy. The CIA wanted to fund the war, but Congress wouldn't let them, so the CIA figured it out. The CIA is the ones who literally were responsible for the motherfucking drugs that hit my fucking generation and generations in the 80s and the 90s. The CIA was literally responsible for that shit. The CIA was literally responsible for that shit. And not to mention that we forgot what heroin did in the 60s and the 70s, and coke in the 60s and the 70s also. Like, we forgot how that looked. Shit, blood shit all the fucking time. I ain't even trying to be funny, but like, shit was active. Like, Miami was active. Like, there was a lot of fucking shit happening, and we are the descendants of that shit. And then you'll condemn us when you're the real fucking monsters. You're the real fucking monsters. You are the reason that we are the criminals and the crooks, because we learned that shit from you. That shit won't our way. That shit was given to us. And you get mad anytime we figure out how to bring ourselves up out of a trap that you set for us. Nobody talks about like public housing and how, yes, the Black Panthers fought for us to have, like food and housing. And literally they used that same motherfucking thing that they gave us as a trap. Something that was meant to be helpful, and something that was an idea birthed out of purity, love, and to build community and strength. Literally, these motherfuckers was like, oh, all right, I'm gonna give y'all free housing. I'm gonna give y'all affordable housing. All right. I'm gonna make this shit look hard. I'm gonna make this shit look hard in the inside, like cinder block walls, all that shit. Like, psychologically, that is literally a thing. Like, literally how you structure and build shit. Like, psychologically, that's cold. The concrete in the house, like, we don't think about the materials we use as like conductors and I forgot what you call that shit. Like, they got a word for it, but like it definitely, if you ever played The Sims, and like the way you decorate your home and your home is set up, like, can up your vibration, like, it's the same way in real life. Like, this shit is they've studied this. So like, even the way they build projects, like the way they build them and make them look in the inside, like all of it, whether it's high rise, whether it's, just spread out, like, it was very strategic in how they designed it. So if you live in major cities, a lot of your shit is high rise because of the spacing. So they have to build up. They can't build out. So like, a lot of times that part is built strategically for spacing. But like, when I'm talking about like the materials and all that shit, like, it's cold. It's kind of like jail. It's like, people don't realize, like, when people go to jail and they come out and they look older, they're aging because they're doing hard time. Like, when they say hard time, like, that shit is real. Like, you're doing hard time. So not only are you dealing with the stresses of dealing with motherfucking cage beasts that you got to be around all day, you literally are looking at concrete, steel. It's just all cold and hard. It's like, it's just, it literally fucks with people psychologically. So that's one component of it. Then you gave us free housing, and you literally took the man out the house. You made it hard for the woman to have the man. So you made the woman, you thought you would destroy the family household from just taking the man out of the house. That didn't work. So what it did do it didn't work for the woman, but it did affect the children. So it affected the children growing up in broken families. But the woman, some kind of way, still remained to be strong, still carried on, continued, but she did not go unscathed. She became hard, jaded, and angry. and for good reason. So man was taken out, drugs was put in the community. Drugs literally wiped out a lot of knowledge, morality, like home training, a lot of tradition. Not to say that all the tradition needed to be there in the first place, but it definitely wiped out a lot of core values. A lot of these areas that you call projects literally were booming places in major cities where black people once flourished. Like, I remember it was a couple of days ago, my daughter was like, why Jackson Ward off the chain like this? Like, why it's so bad? Like, and I'm like, baby, Jackson Ward used to be like, 2nd Street was like the motherfucking Black Wall Street. That's why Jackson Ward is off the chain now. They designed it to be that way. Any niggas from a lineage that literally was about that shit, they tried to destroy. Like, Richmond has so much rich fucking like history. They literally build parking lots and fucked up shit over our history. Our burial grounds, they literally build our historical sites. They literally built motherfucking parking lots to cover up our history. We're hidden in plain sight. We literally are our ancestors, but we don't know who we are. And I'm not saying that like you are your ancestors, like you're not your own person. You're your own person, but you carry on the lineage. So how I've acknowledged all the fucked up shit in my lineage, like I have some motherfucking great shit in my lineage, and I haven't even tapped into what's great in my lineage, but I had to have some great shit in my lineage because of what I was able to do underneath the circumstances that was given to me. Lets me know everything I need to know. I had strong motherfuckers in my lineage. Like, I am God's child. I look at it like I am God's child. I'm Jesus' child. Like, I am a child of God. That's in my lineage. That's in my bloodline. That is my birthright. It don't get no stronger than that. Like, a lot of shit just was tricked out of us. And then we would demonize the drug dealer. Yes, the drug dealer is wrong. Yes, the stripper, I ain't gonna say stripper, but yes, the sex worker maybe would live a better life if she didn't have to sell her body. But have you realized that maybe the people who actually oppress these people to have to pick these careers or feel under pressure to pick these careers, I'm pretty sure if you gave niggas other options, if you gave niggas opportunities to like literally explore what fucking makes them happy and they could make money from that, crime rate would go down. But what do? You literally build communities. You give out free housing that breaks up the family. You give out drugs like it's candy. You then tell society that the drug dealers and the killers and all that shit, the thieves and all that shit is wrong. But you don't talk about how you create the thieves because they're starving. You don't talk about how you create the drug dealers because they can't get a job. You don't talk about, because you fear the black man. You fear the motherfucking black man. You have had your foot on the black man's neck because you fear that man. Pussies. You fear him. You fear the black man. That's why I can never give up on my black man. I have never given up hope on my black man. I do not. I'll talk shit in the past. Like, I felt like niggas want shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? I even write about my pain in my poems about, like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? But I know what's wrong with y'all. Y'all need a hug. Y'all need love, and y'all need to be valued and seen. You need to be told that we value you, we love you, because we do. And we seen what has happened to you. And I'm not a bitch that I'm going to give up on my black men. Like, I'm not. I know your struggle because I was a part of your struggle. So me, better than any other woman, and there are other women like me. Me not better than any other woman, but me, unlike most women, I know what it is to have your struggle. I know what it is to have somebody's foot on my neck because of who I am. I know what it is to be gifted and talented and not be seen as your true value. I know what it is to be a threat and you haven't even stepped into your power. I know what it is for all that shit. I know what it is to have to struggle to provide for your family. I know what it is to have that pressure on my back. I know what it is to be valued for solely that. And I know what it is to be silenced and made to feel that if you are vulnerable or emotional in any aspect, you are allowing yourself to be attacked. You are allowing yourself to show up weak. So I know what it is to feel like that, and yet, and still saying that, I still don't know what it is to be a man. Not a black man in America with 3 Ks. So I have so much love and compassion for black men. We all have taken different butts, different parts of this, because the black woman has had to carry the household, has had to carry the struggle, has had to carry it all. However, we are a unit, and we can't keep doing this division about men and women and shit and what do you bring to the table. Like, bitch, if you don't know what a woman brings to the table at this point, and I know men gotta ask this because they have chosen some goofy women in their lifetimes, and vice versa. Women gotta figure out, like, what are you bringing to the table yourself, because they have chosen some goofy niggas in the past. However, like, by now, if you can't see the value of, man and woman, whatever your sexuality is, I don't care. But I'm talking directly to men and women partnership. If you can't see that value, and I'm speaking to black people right now, if you can't see that value, the disenfranchised black people, because I feel like we're all one race, but the disenfranchised black people, if you can't see each other's value, you have to heal. You have to heal, because literally, men, your woman is your other half, your other part. Like, it's not even a half. She's the other you. You are the other her. You together is a force that can't be reckoned with. Is a force that can't be reckoned with. And I can't wait for God to reunite me with mine. Like, I'm ready. Like, but you and your partner, like, that's your other you. And you are her other part. And together, like, once y'all figure out who y'all is separately, fucking powerful. Fucking powerful on its own. Together, goddamn, like, can't do shit. Can't do shit. Once you have a solid foundation and a solid unit, ain't nothing nobody can do to that. Ain't nothing nobody can do to that, you or your family. Like, God first. Put yourself after God, your spouse, them kids, family, and friends. Like, that's the order. That's the order. God and you. Then your spouse. And this ain't for no, I'm not doing that whole Christianity, like, it for the women. They say it's God, then your husband, then them kids and you. I don't know who came up with that. I ain't gonna blame that on Christians, because I told you, them people have definitely manipulated that shit. Like, but it's literally, the hierarchy is like God, you, your partner. You can't do shit for nobody if you ain't straight. Like, you literally can't. It's not gonna be right. It's gonna be done out of obligation, and it's not gonna feel good when you do it for others. Like, they're gonna feel that the shit is off, like you're doing it just because you feel like you have to. So, like, literally, you have to have you feeling, whole and balanced, and then you can focus on your partner. Your spouse is who's next. And then them kids that you have brought into this world to guide and to be who they are and to fulfill their purpose come next. Then your family and friends, and, like, whatever else. So literally, yeah, if you're still in the mind frame of who is worse, men or women, and blah 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 blah, like, I can't do that shit. Like, I really do be tapping out. Like, I don't be meaning to. Like, it triggers me, because, like, I know when I was having those conversations, like, I was hurt. I'm literally spewing the pain of situations I've experienced on a whole population of men. And you can't do that. And vice versa. Men can't do that. That was your experiences you had with the people you chose. That was your experience you had with the people you chose. That is not the reflection of the population of women, and vice versa. So it's like when you get to a point where you heal, you realize like those were the people I was picking. Those were the people I was attracted to. Fuck attracting. Those were the people I was attracted to. You cannot spend years or some time with somebody like and literally not be attracted to that bullshit they was giving out. Like, yeah, now you woke and you realize it, like, yeah, but you like that shit. You like that shit. Figure out why you like that shit, because you gotta heal parts of you. I tell people all the time who are in abusive situations. I realized this before I even got to this point in my healing journey. Like, I realized this when I left. I used to always look at Dante as the problem. Bitch, I was a problem too. I was the problem too. And I think a lot of times when I talk like that with people, they be like, well, you know, you're being abused and he was doing this. Bitch, why did I stay? Why did I stay? I knew it got to a point where it was like, why are you still here? What are you getting out of this? Why are you still here? So I can't completely blame him, and I can't view other niggas from that lens. That was my experience with him, and that was a version of me that needed to experience that for all the reasons that I had to experience that. But he was not the sole problem. I was a part of the problem too. Why were you here? What led you here? And I've come to my own understanding. And I have made peace with that situation. And I have made it clear that, like, I will mourn and I will honor and remember the good parts of him. But for the bad shit, I can't put that shit on another man. Like, I can't put that shit on another man. Latifah was attracted to abuse. Latifah was attracted to abuse. And so when you find yourself with these fucked up people and counterparts, you're literally attracted to that. You can say what you want to say. You can say niggas trick you, bitches trick you. You like to be tricked. You like to be tricked at that moment. Because you like to be tricked. Your body knows. Your spirit knows. Your body knows and your spirit knows. Like, it knows right away. Like, this ain't it. But you make an active decision like, I'm going to try it out. Try it out then. Learn what you need to learn the hard way. But yeah, this government has really fucked up the disenfranchised black people. That's when I'm talking about the black people who had to go through the struggle, because I feel like we're all black genetically codes for all this. Black codes straight hair, black codes, like, it's just lies that has been told to us. Like, black codes, blonde hair, black codes, all this shit. Like, black genetically codes all these things. All these things. Literally is hidden in plain sight. Like, white is devoid of color. Even though y'all not white anyway. I don't know why you want to go there. But you're not white. The closest thing that could be to white far as our genetic coding would be albinoism. And white people, you're not that. Even though there are white people who, you know, can have albinoism, but you're not that. Like, black codes for all this. Black codes for all this. All of it. So I'm talking to the group of disenfranchised black people. Disenfranchised black people. Disenfranchised black people. The people who has had society's foot on their neck the whole time for no fucking reason. At least in this lifetime. I don't know what happened in the motherfucking past that you could, you know, rationalize this, but definitely not for this lifetime. Like, what we're experiencing now, like, I have no idea what could even be an excuse for this shit. But yeah, like literally projects was created to destroy the black household. Everybody knew. Anything we try to come up with to uplift our communities, they demonize it. The Black Panthers are online as a terrorist group, but the motherfucking KKK isn't. Make it KK sense. Like, make it make sense. And I will go on a rant about the Klan. The Klan, you bitches is cowards. Like, everybody thought the Klan was just like the deplorable poor white man. The Klan literally was members of society in high positions. Literally the reason they wore the hoods, they actually took the idea from other parts of history. They wore the hoods literally to hide their identity, because there are, you know, I wouldn't even say societies, but there are groups that literally wear this in Europe, like literally to just hide their identity. It's a ritual they do with the Catholics, and they literally, you know, stole that idea, because that's what they do, and they literally took it upon themselves to hide their identity. You got to think about this. If you're hiding your identity, that would mean that you literally, because we're talking about Southern white people. Southern white people don't hide their hate. Southern white people don't hide their hate. So if you were hiding your identity, that meant that you were parading around in public as a white ally. And you didn't want your identity to be shown that you wasn't a white ally. So you most likely were probably getting information, running back and telling it. Most likely was infiltrating black communities and running back and telling that. What other reason would you have to hide your identity? You do not have the fear of losing your job because white hate was normalized. You did not have the fear of losing your livelihood because white hate was normalized. Nobody would have turned better to eye. Y'all was motherfucking hanging us and taking pictures with your families. One would hide their identity if they are trying to befriend you in the daylight and burn your shit down at night. So that's why I really think you cowards. Now, the Nazi white supremacists, they don't hide their face. They come out with their guns and their black boots and their skinheads and their Nazi symbol, which was stolen, literally stolen from, you know, African culture, and literally stolen from Sumerian people, like literally. But you turn the symbol into hate. You turn the symbol into like hatred towards, you know, disenfranchised groups of people. But mainly you hate the blacks. But you do hate the Jews and the gays too. And at least y'all show y'all face. I'll give y'all that. I would say you got heart for that. But the motherfuckers that started their group by hiding under motherfucking hoods, and then they took the hoods off and they started wearing suits, y'all. They started wearing suits, y'all. And they're like, you know, they just continue to be in these high places and smile in your faces. Infiltrate your systems. Know all your business. They're not set up as a terrorist group, but they've been terrorizing black people since they started the group. They're still terrorizing black people today. They just don't hide on the hood. They hide in the suit. They hide in the suit. Cowards. So, yeah. Basically, anything. Black Panthers basically wanted to fix their own communities. Wanted to police their own communities. Like, literally just wanted what was best for their people. Wanted the liberation for their people. But you literally shut them up from the inside, like you always do. Because they were smart. And they vetted a lot of people. But you can always try to, can't always, but you can try to trick somebody up with their own kinfolk. But now we're wise to that too. We already know all kinfolk ain't, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. So you're running out of plays. You're running out of plays. But we live in America with 3Ks. I'm learning how to live in America. I'm just learning how to live in America without the Ks. Just envision what that looks like without the Ks. It's time to remove the Ks. The KKKs. It's time to remove the Ks. It's time to remove white supremacy and oppression. If you scared, just say that. Why you gotta hate another group of people? Why you gotta hate another group of people that ain't did shit to you? Because if we was real monsters like you, you'd have been dead. You'd have been dead. You'd have been gone. But we're not the real monsters. You taught us how to be, but we not the real monsters. God protects me. I really don't be knowing who y'all be praying to, because we ain't praying to the same. We ain't praying to the same source. I always tell everybody else, like, we're all praying to the same source. We just calling it different names. But y'all praying to Lucifer, baby. Y'all praying to Lucifer and then fail to realize that Lucifer works for God. Like, Lucifer works for God. He just here to take your soul. Like, that's all. To prove God wrong. And he won't too far off. He was not too far off. I think it's time for God to forgive him. But I think God already did. That's why he works with him. He works with them. He ain't punishing Lucifer like y'all thought. Like, he allows Lucifer to test you. He allows him to test you. And yet y'all have made him your God. Gee golly, make it sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And there are some people who, like, I know some people are supposed to stay away from certain shit, and like, but for me, I have looked up like people who claim to worship Satan. A lot of their rhetoric is around it's almost atheist in nature. Like, seek pleasure, do this, do that. They worship in a lot of shit that I feel like they really don't have the true understanding like of what they're doing, but that's to each his own. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with, that part of it. But I do agree that you as a human being have the right to seek pleasure, seek all these things that has been oppressed from you. You have the right as a human being, but you also have consequences to anything you seek that is not in alignment with you. So you need to learn you first before you go out here, like doing shit. And me, young wild me, I did what I wanted. I'm not gonna claim no other, shit, but I'ma learn. Like, I'ma learn something. Like, I don't fear that if I opened up a book and learned about Satanism, like, Satan have my life. No. If I was called to a text, it was called for me to read it. Like, do I have to agree with it? Do I have to believe in it? No, I don't. So I have like studied some stuff around that part of things, but have never practiced or partaken in that. Literally though, I do want to say this, like, a lot of people unknowingly are giving their life away. You're selling your soul. You don't have to clock in. I mean, you don't have to be a drug dealer, a stripper, a music artist. Like, you don't have to be in the industry to sell your soul, baby. You sell your soul anytime you go to that job you hate. You sell your soul every time you have them nightmares about going to that job you hate. Like, that's a good sign that it's time for change. It's time for change. You are being led to change your circumstances and your situations. Like, go ahead and start trying to figure that out. But I don't know. Like, we demonize the wrong things. We demonize. That's really what my message is. We demonize the wrong things. But y'all know, like, I be honest with y'all about shit. Like, I don't want you to feel like I don't like talk to you about the dark shit. Like, I have explored some dark shit, but never have I ever like gave claim to like that's my God. No. No. However, I have worked with some dark forces, and I will continue to work with dark forces that God allows and see fit for me to work with. I am a dark force. I want y'all to know that. Like, I am a dark force, bitch. Play safe. Don't do that fuck shit over here. You will pay. And there's a lot of people who feel like just like instant gratification, like when people don't get instant gratification, they quit on their dreams. There's a lot of people who don't get instant repercussions that think they have gotten away with it. You ain't got away with it. I like a build up. Makes for a better climax. Like, I'm like, yes, I can't say when I first woke up, like, I want the motherfuckers to die right then and there. Like, and I'm talking like so clear and transparent for a reason. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to have like that. I wanted people to not live here no more with me, around me, in this world, period, even if they didn't share the same space as me. I shouldn't feel bad that I felt that way when you literally took something from me that I had to fight tooth and nail to get back. When you literally abused the fuck out of me. Sexual abuse steals from people. Like, people are not just getting raped. People are losing parts of them fucking selves. The parts of them flee. Parts of them flee. And each rape, a part and piece of you flee. You're missing parts of you. Because they don't feel safe. They don't feel safe in your vessel. Parts of you flee. You break. You shatter. You become unwhole. You feel it. You feel it. Anytime when people be like, I feel a void, like, that mean that you are missing parts of yourself. Go find them. Go find your pieces. Go call them back. Do the work you got to do to make them feel safe to return to you. But should I feel bad because I wanted to take something from someone else because they had took from me? No, I shouldn't. No. Why? I even asked God about that. Like, why? Why am I feeling guilt? Why am I feeling shame? That was literally keep causing me to love people who was hurting me, because I felt like, oh, I understand why you did it, because it was done to you. And, you know, like, well, such and such happened to such and such in this childhood and all that stuff. And it's like, but when are you going to care about what happened to you? When are you going to care about what happened to you? When are you going to call justice and law on what happened to you? And yes, what I wanted to happen once I did realize I could, I wanted it to be very, very instant repercussions. But when you leave it in God's hands and you leave it with your ancestors and all the spirits that work together in the spiritual realm, like, literally, you are allowing for things to work out as they should. Just like you allow for things to work out for you as they should. Like, trust the process. But why are we feeling guilty about our abusers paying for their sins the same way I have to pay for my sins? Like, anytime I fuck up, I usually get some instant karma. Like, mine should be instant, because it's like most of the time it's like you know better. It's like you know better. And some of these people know better too. But sometimes it's just success that is, you know, your revenge. Sometimes it's you making it out of what they thought would destroy you is your revenge. Sometimes the long game, like what we're looking at now, is the revenge. Sometimes, like, we watch this in the world, like, well, why hasn't God come to stop all of this? Like, why hasn't God put it into it? He's waiting on you. God is waiting on you to act. Everything that has happened for a reason. And yes, innocent people have lost their lives. Every time I think about that, I think about Palestine. Like, that shit hurts me so deeply bad to just watch genocide happen again and again and again. I've watched genocide happen to my own people. Genocide happened to the black community again in the 80s and the 90s. I grew up in it. We lost so many good people. Just because the physical body tolls were still walking around, a lot of kids lost their parents. A lot of kids lost generational knowledge, generational wisdom, generational love. A lot of kids was raised by tired grandmothers and grandparents, period. A lot of kids was stuck with parents who were vessels for evil and literally destroyed them. Literally abused them more than anybody could when they were supposed to be the ones that protected them. I watched genocide happen in the 80s and the 90s. Different way it happened than what Palestine is going through, but genocide all along. We just keep watching it repeat and repeat, and the outrage is just so, it's not enough. It's not enough. The outrage isn't enough. The power is with the people. Just never forget that. The power is with the people. When we ready to stand together, united against a common force. I mean, people got to figure out what the common force is. It's like, do you know what your common force is? Do you know what the common enemy is? Because if we don't know what the common force is and the enemy is, we're going to get tricked out our spot each time. But I feel like the people do know. I feel like the people know it's not about white and black, black and brown, yellow and brown, red and brown, olive and brown. Like, it's not about that. I feel like there's enough people that know it's not about Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism. Like, I think there's a lot of people that realize, like, that's not the enemy. I think there's a lot of people that realize it's not about whether you're heterosexual, whether you're gay, you're straight, so on and so on. I think people are realizing that's not the enemy. I think people are finally waking up and realizing that the real enemy is those who want to oppress you and this planet. Those who want to drain you and this planet dry. Black people have watched it happen for a very long time. We are watching you watch it. We watching you watch it. We watching how you react now that you are awake. Because we tired. We been new. I've told you since I was a little girl. I knew about the injustice of this world. I knew I was born into a skin color that just literally was going to have me living life on hard. I knew. And psychologically, it was damaging. It made me hate myself. It made me wish I was white because life would be easier. And even though that doesn't mean that white people doesn't have hardship, it would be easier. Fucking hear me out. It would be easier. So, a lot of white people get that twisted, like, oh, well, I struggled too. Well, I was poor too, bitch. We know. We grew up with some of y'all poor asses. We accept y'all poor asses. But when the shoe is on the other foot and you have your privilege, you'll turn your motherfucking back on us quick as a bitch. Not all, but most. Because people like the power trip and shit, like, but the power is really with the people. The people just give their power up. And I speak from experience. I was a person that gave my power up willingly. Didn't want it. Didn't want to lead. Didn't want to, didn't want to step into my power. Wasn't comfortable with who I was. Didn't find myself worthy. None of that shit. But the power is with the people. The power starts with you. And then you're supposed to bring it together as a collective. But If you waiting for your government to save you, you still haven't figured out who your enemy is. You still haven't figured out who your enemy is. It don't matter who they put in their office. Black, white, brown, yellow, purple, green. If they play by that same system, the results gonna be the same. It's just which one. Do you want slow or do you want fast? Do you want blatant or do you want behind your back? Like, we've watched this play out over and over again. I have no more belief in your politics. I have no more belief in your white savior. I believe in Jesus. I believe in Jesus. I believe in the return of the Messiah, but I believe in it as a consciousness, not as a hologram that will show up, but as a spirit that flows through everyone who is worthy. I see God as the same thing. God is all source, and God shows up in different people. God shows up in different people all the time, and it's a test. It's a test of your heart. It's a test of your character. It's a test of your integrity. It's a test of your dignity. Like, it's a test. But you look to the sky, not to see how small you are, how big you are. Like, it's just all about a perspective. Like, you look to the sky for God, but you can't even see that God is within. God is the person that showed up that day, and maybe you was having a bad day, and they gave you a compliment, and it picked you up and made your world feel like a world of difference. Like, it made your day better, gave you a new little jump start and a pep in your step. God is, I lie to you not. Me and Charlotte was homeless and living in a car. I couldn't take it no more here. I couldn't take it fucking no more here. So I left. And the only reason I came back was because it was uncomfortable for my child. And I felt like, as a mother, yes, I'm trying to get out of the habit of putting, what she wants first, because I had it was a toxic habit of, like, whatever she needed, it comes first, like, automatically. But I felt like I was causing her more pain by us trying to have to figure out our life in the car. Figure out our life dealing with homeless shelters that make you fucking prove residency. What kind of fucked up shit is that? If I'm homeless, if I'm telling you I'm coming from an abusive situation, but because I'm not getting my ass beat by a man, that's not domestic violence to y'all. So I couldn't go to a domestic violence shelter. Like, the shit is sick and weird. And then, then I go to a shelter and literally you can only have a day if you don't have proof of residency. The fuck type of shit is this? Like, if I'm homeless, bitch, I don't have residency. Like, I don't have proof of residency. Like, I literally told you I was living with her. Like, it's wild to see that people are working in these systems claiming to help people, and you're not. You can't keep saying that you're doing your job. Your job is wrong. Your job is not of God. Your job is very fucking hypocritical. To this day, sometimes when I ask my daughter, like, what have you learned today? Like, what she's learning. And she always say, you have to prove residency. She's traumatized because we got kicked out of a homeless shelter. The lady literally saw us sleeping in our car when she pulled up. She did not even knock on the window. Oh, no, she didn't. She saw us in the car, but she went in the building. She didn't come back to see if my car was outside. She didn't try to call me on the phone to tell me that we wouldn't be able to spend another night. Could we come get our stuff? She waited until it was time for us to check into the homeless shelter. And in front of everybody, literally, she didn't say we had to get out in front of everybody, but we had to come in and get our shit and leave in front of everybody. It was the most humiliating. It was the most inhumane shit I had ever been through in my life. And all honestly, I couldn't have handled that situation like that. I can't say that. I would have had to call. If I had a phone number for a family, a woman and a child, and there's another woman, I would have had to call and say, hey, look, these are the rules of this shelter. I don't agree with them, but since you can't prove residency, you got to get your stuff and leave. I'm going to let you come in here before everybody else come. And, you know, here's some resources to some other shelters. It was none of fucking that. You put me and my child outside, it was freezing cold. It was freezing cold. And I never forgot that, and she hasn't even. I cried. I had a breakdown, and I had to come back to this hellish place until I could master myself and literally get to a point where I realized, like, there's nothing she can do to me anymore. I'm not a child. There's nothing she can do to me anymore. And she still fucked with my child because that's an extension of me, and she knew it. And I had to learn how to maneuver that shit. And had to learn how to teach my child how to recognize that shit. So all these systems out here that's so-called designed to help us is not designed to help us whatsoever. And you never know who is who. But while I was homeless, I tell this story because while I was homeless, I remember we would like get up and go, because we would have to get up really early, like 7 o'clock in the morning, and literally find something to do. In the meantime, it was cold. So like what I would do is like just go park at the Walmart like parking lot and put stuff around the windows so that we could sleep. I remember this particular morning, and it was actually the morning before it was the morning of going to getting kicked out of the homeless shelter later on that night. So Charlotte seen a homeless man stand on the corner, and she was like, we should give him some money. Mind you, we're homeless. Mind you, my finances are not straight. So I'm like, Charlotte, we're homeless ourselves, like, because I'm just in such this, like, survival mode again. I find myself in survival mode again in this situation. And I'm just like, Charlotte, like, we don't have it for ourselves. Like, we're homeless, baby. So, and I don't think I even said it that gentle. It was more of like, girl, we don't have this shit like ourselves. Like, you gonna have to learn how to look out for you. And so it was kind of like this message to her, like, you know, like, I know you kind of hearted, like, but I'm kind of hearted too, so I know where you get it from. But like, we're right here, and we're in a state where we gotta look out for we gotta look out for us. And right now we don't got it. So that happened that morning. I want to say we probably slept, and then probably later that afternoon, randomly, like, you know, we're getting up at this point, and we're just doing like little stuff to keep ourselves occupied. And because we don't really have that much money, so like we can't really do activities, and my car was fucked up, so I really couldn't like drive my car too far. So literally survival mode. A white man come knock on the window. He scares me, like, because I'm just, you know, shocked, like, because I'm parked off, I'm ducked off, like, so like for him to just pop out of nowhere. I never seen where this man came from, and even when he was leaving, I never saw where he went. I lied to you not. But he knocks on the window. Me, I'm not really afraid of people. Like, I grew up in the streets, so like I rolled down the window because his energy didn't feel weird, but like he was just like, you know, hey, I'm trying to get my baby some milk. All I need is 42 cents. Can you help me out? And so I was like, man, you know, like, we homeless ourselves right now. And what Charlotte had did that morning, literally, I lied to you not, like, that shit was on my heart. I'm like, God damn, my child is so beautiful. Like, we homeless, and this girl thinking about another homeless person. But this situation was different. This was a homeless person holding a sign. This was something that directly came to us, and we were just driving past. That wasn't like, you know, an axe. So this situation came to us. It was a axe. Something clicked and was like, follow your heart. Follow Charlotte's heart. Charlotte wanted to give this morning, but you denied her from giving. Like, this man asked for 42 cents, and he asked for it for baby formula. Like, he just needed 42 more cents. So I told him no at first, and he, before he could even like, get the turnaround, that's how quick the decision flipped. I was like, you know what, nah. And I told him why. I was like, we was homeless, and I was like, you know what, nah. And I think at the time, like, I don't really carry cash. I had about like $4 in my pocketbook, and so I can only find $2, but he asked for like 42 cents, like literally just 42 cents. And I think it definitely was 42 cents, because 42 cents is stuck with me. and so I gave him the $2, and he was like so grateful. He literally told me like, the next time I see you, I got you. And I'm like, bruh, we'll never see each other again. In my head. I'm in my head, but I'm thinking like, oh damn. These are one of these situations where I was being tested. I was being tested. Was I going to listen to my intuition, listen to my heart, and help someone else, even though I was in hard time? And then on top of that, to make it all fucking worse, like, I literally got kicked out of the homeless shelter that night. I literally broke down. I had a friend in the area that did come and help me. Thank God, calm down. And that's when I was able to make this decision. Like, you know what? I just got to go back there. Like, whatever reason I'm supposed to be there, I got to be there. And I had literally made a decision in my head. Like, once I go back and I get back on my feet, I'm never coming back again. I never want nothing to do, with her or have a relationship with her. And that's hard. That's hard. If you have an abusive mother, you know how hard it is to, cut ties. It's very hard to cut ties, but it's like, we have nothing in common. We don't share any common interests, like, anymore. Like, I've outgrown being her, pet and doing what she say, and just, I've outgrown a lot of shit, like the negative family gossip. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. And it's not easy for me to say this. It's not easy. You would think it would be. You would think the stories I've told you, all that shit, you think it would be, but it's not. And one of the things I made a vow to myself and for my daughter is that, like, I wouldn't come back here. Once I leave here, it's like gone. It's no, looking back. I still haven't even decided that, like, if, she perished, like, what I'm gonna do. And I made a decision that I'm not gonna make that decision. I'm just not going to force that on myself. When it happens, I know how I feel and how I want to honor that. But I can never forget how I was treated while being here. Things have gotten a lot calmer, and it's only because, like, I don't feed into the shit. I won't allow her or anybody else to siphon my energy, just when I know that you're purposefully trying to get me angry to get my energy. Like, you can't have it. So it's literally like the conversations are very short and very surface level. Nothing deep about it. But yeah, that situation with the system of homelessness. Like, imagine how many people who are not me, who don't have anything else to fall back on, and they literally had their kids. And I think during that time, like, during the time that this happened, like a week or two later, like, the lady who everybody condemned when her kids died in the car, y'all don't know what the fuck she was going through. Y'all don't know what people be going through. You don't know what people be going fucking through when they grieve, and they don't grieve how you think you'd grieve. Like, she lost her kids, and y'all was mad because she was drunk and out partying. Like, she literally, you don't know the battles that people like, she felt. Like, lots of times people party and get drunk to escape from what they're feeling. But all you could see was She wasn't sitting around crying. You don't know what she do when she's alone. Like, it just looks distasteful. That's what it is. It looks distasteful. It looks like, which y'all don't even realize that society don't even allow you to mourn and grieve. Society don't even allow you to mourn and grieve. Lose your children and tell society you need a break from your job. And if your ass don't know the rules to this game, that you gotta go check yourself in the fucking loony bin or go to a doctor to get a doctor's note to get time written off so that you can secure your job, you will lose it. They will replace your ass. Society don't even let you grieve. Most people give you a week. I have been grieving, and it's been more than a week. But people be having to get back to business as usual. But that lady lost her kids in the freezing fucking car because there was no space in the homeless shelter. And that's true too. That's another harsh reality. There is no space. There is no space. So even if you don't have to fucking prove residency, which I'm a resident of this planet, what the fuck do you mean? What is these borders up for? Oh, the borders are up because the colonizers came and colonized and then going to create the borders? That's crazy. The borders wasn't up when the fuck you came over here and you took everything. But you got borders up now that you were the only one fucking raping, pillage, whatever that fucking word is. I'm not even right in my vocabulary right now. While you was raping the earth and the people, killing the earth and the people, draining the earth and the people. The borders weren't up. People were willing to share with you, but you wanted more, you wanted more, you wanted more. We're watching it happen with Israel and Palestine. The borders wasn't up for that shit. But the borders are up for people who literally have it in their name, homeless, to prove residency. The fuck? The fuck you mean? Are we retarded? Who are you trying to help? Disgusting. That's what that shit is. It's disgusting. And I don't give a fuck if people are lying about what district they live in or not. They are a resident of this fucking planet. You either here to help homeless people or you not. And me and my daughter was just trying to get on our feet and get out of a fucked up situation. Shouldn't have mattered where we lived at. And yes, when I left, I left. I didn't grab every fucking thing. I left. I lose my motherfucking head if it won't attach. I left. Prove residency. And yes, I was in abusive situations. Yes, I did know to keep a book bag and all that shit present. But when you upset, that's why they tell you to keep that shit. When you upset, you have to have it somewhere where you can, like, you don't have to think about it. You just have all that shit set up. I wasn't thinking like that. Because you be at home with the people you think love you. Even though I knew this wasn't a conducive environment, but still. When you're upset, you don't think clearly. So, this world just fucked up. And yes, I've had offers of housing after this situation with that occurred. I'm just, at this point, it's like, I'll transition. When I transition, I'm gone. I ain't coming back. When I transition, I'm gone. I'm not coming back. Like, and when I say I'm not coming back, like, I'm not coming back to live here. I'm not coming back. I don't owe nobody anything. That's what I mean by that. Like, there's no relationship, like, to be had. I was trying to be the one to do the work to repair the bond, but she never felt like anything was wrong. Even after everything came out, like, she never felt like anything was wrong when it came to me. Because I think to admit that what I was feeling, what had happened to me, happen. Like, she even came to terms with what happened to me happen. She finally started to accept that. But she could not even care or fathom the damage that was done to me, because from her lens, she had to view it as she was a fucked up parent, and that's something that I don't think she wants to do. And in my heart, I didn't feel like she was a fucked up parent. I do now. I do now, but like in my heart, I swear to God, like I never felt like, even after all that shit that happened and had happened, like I never felt like she was a completely fucked up parent. I felt like she was a damaged little girl herself. I felt like she did the best she could with what she, had, with tools she had, and with knowledge she had. But being here allowed me to see that, like, she chose to be a fucked up parent when it revisited again, and she chose to not try to sit down and have a conversation about it. She even had a situation where we tried to like talk it out, and she apologized for it, but her apology was like, you know how you always just wanted someone to say they were sorry, and when they finally say they're sorry, like their apology means like not shit. And it's not because their apology isn't it's not because it's a sincere apology, like, but you didn't receive the sincere apology. You just received like, I apologize. You received someone sitting quiet and letting you talk, but they weren't able to emotionally respond at all. Like, it was just, I'm sorry that happened to you type. It was very cold. So even though I finally got to fucking apologize, well, she don't apologize. She don't apologize. I finally got one, and it was just so cold. It was, the conversation was just so, I felt like she wasn't even there. And when she was there, she could only rebuttal and respond about the things that triggered her. But she couldn't respond to the emotional damage. Y'all know I'm retarded. Like, but she couldn't respond to the emotional damage and the emotional toll that it had took on me. There was no love. There was no hug. There was nothing for that situation. And there was one time she hugged me while I was here, and I was just like, I never want to fucking have a hug from her again. Like, her hugs make me cringe. And I never felt like that with my mother before, but it's like, I think when you just, the veil is lifted and you see people for who they are and not for who you wanted them to be, but like for how they're actually showing up. I think like it's just that raw acceptance, like you shouldn't be the one that's fighting so hard to amend this bond, to make amends with this bond. Like, one of her guilt trips for me was that I left her for Dante. But isn't the goal of your children getting older, isn't it for them to get out here and have their own lives? Like, why should I have to carry the guilt of her exact words of, you left me for a nigga? Like, I'm not your man. I'm not your man, I'm your child. But she was just so used to me, and she won't even acknowledge that. Like, she was just so used to me being her gopher and the person she could rely on to do the things that she needed to be done and to help her out with the things she needed to be helped out. Like, she didn't even value what I did or what I brought to our team until I was gone. And it dawned on me when she said, you left me for Dante, that like, that's what it was. Like, you hated me being with him, not just because I was with him. It was because I was no longer beneficial to you. And of course, yeah, no one wants, their children going through abusive shit. But if you really cared about my state of mind and my mind frame, You wouldn't have chose to abuse me while you thought I was going through an abusive relationship. And the way she treated me, talked to me while I was going through that relationship was like gross misconduct as a mother. Like, I would have never treated my child like that. Definitely if I thought they was in an abusive relationship. If anything, I would have tried to speak life into my child. But literally, she tried to tear me down a lot while I was in that relationship, constantly making me feel like I wasn't good enough, I wasn't worthy of. It was like even though she wanted me to feel like I deserved better than him, she was treating me like I want shit and I deserved him, because like she would call me stupid for being with him, and just it was so many things. Like, she tried to threaten to take my child away, like, what, because I was with him, and I'm like, but my child is not being mistreated. And this is during like early on point, so like this is like before things got really bad in the end. But I'm like, my child not being mistreated, like none of that. Like, it was just weird. Like, it was a lot of shit that happened that I haven't talked about. And it was like, not only was I living with a narcissist, like I grew up with one, and so it makes sense to me. Like, I don't guilt trip myself for it, because like, why did you pick him? Like, yeah, I had to do that at first, like, to try to figure out why was I there, but like now I know crystal clear why I was there. I grew up with narcissistic people, and my first abusers was my parents, and so I always associated abuse with love, and it's like now when you break free of that, that's not love, because in order for me to rationalize things, I had to think that that was love. Like, because you're supposed to have loving parents, right? Like, so I thought that that is what love looked like. And that's so sad. I hold so much compassion for people who can relate to me talking about this, because this literally was a whole nother video about something else and my trauma coming out. And I'm just starting to learn to let shit flow. Whatever comes out in these videos come out how they come out. I'm gonna put the content out the best I know how, and authentically and unapologetically how. The same way I can condemn these systems, I'm gonna call out my own shit. So I have been the victim. I have been the abuser. Um and this healing journey has been affording me to know, like, certain shit wasn't my fault, and certain shit is my fault if I don't fix it. Like, and that's just how that go. But this system is wicked. I have found pieces in my heart to forgive. It's not a complete forgiveness the way we were taught. So like, if you think I forgive what the fuck they did, I don't. I take names and I keep notes and I keep score. But what I do forgive is I forgive them based on that they were human, based on that they were fed hate themselves. I forgive them based on that they weren't able to break their own generational curses and cycles. I forgive them based on that premise. I forgive them because this shit was passed on to us through colonization. So I forgive them on those levels. Like, literally, I can call out the bullshit in my own family, and I can also call out these systems, because this is why things are so fucked up now. I always be trying to make it transparently clear. My parents grew up in Jim Crow. A lot of people my age do not have parents that grew up in Jim Crow. And I think when you have parents who grew up in Jim Crow and that old school shit, like, we the motherfuckers that's rough and tough. We got raised with that old school love and that old school mentality. Even if you won't sexually abuse, even if you won't sexually abuse, like, you were treated pretty motherfucking non-factorish. You were treated as to shut the fuck up and sit down, like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, you was treated to listen right the fuck away. Because if you didn't, that could be your ass. Like, you were treated very much out of pure motherfucking survival. And like, when I look back at how I was raised, I see the slave mentality. People didn't have time for to explain shit to their kids if it's life or death. That's why I can forgive it. I can forgive it for those reasons. I can't excuse it. And that's what I mean by, like, I can't excuse, like, I can't forgive what was done. I can't forgive what they did. But I can forgive from the lens of understanding why it happened, how it happened. I can forgive in the lens of that it was passed on from generation to generation. And I'm pretty sure that my mom did a better job than what her mom could do for her. I don't even feel like my mom has been able to come to terms with all the things that truly happened to her. Because some of the stuff she told me, she don't even realize how traumatizing it is herself. So I can forgive from understanding, but I cannot forgive to excuse it. You have to take accountability for your actions in your lifetime. But I do understand that Master passed on this shit to us. Master passed it down to us. So I literally, the biggest forgiveness I had to give was to myself. Nobody talks about the guilt and the shame that you carry around for allowing this shit to repeatedly happen to you. It's not even just the shit that happened that's out of your control. It's the shit that happened in your control that you chose to deal with over and over again because of what happened back then. And even though you didn't always understand that that's why you was doing it, you still come to a point where you realize that you were a part of your problem. Like, you were allowing these things to happen to you in your adulthood. I don't place full blame on my parents to the extent of I'm a allow that shit to ruin my life. I deserve better. I deserved better back then, but I definitely know I deserve better now. And I definitely am working through those pain points, and I'm working on it through the lens of just like, I'm sorry. I've had to dissociate from those parental figures, those earthly parental figures. I've had to dissociate, and they were the vessels in the portal that I came through. And I just don't look at it as I need to seek anything from them. Like, I don't need to get love from them to feel whole. I can do this for myself. Who better to show up as a loving mother for me than me? Who's better to show up as, a loving father figure for me than me? And then I also have God and spirit and ancestors that literally show up for me when I'm feeling weak. So I literally feel fortunate and blessed, and even through all this pain and trouble and struggles and trial tribulations, and I hope that when I tell these stories and I share my pain and I share my growth, that literally you are able to see that the root cause of this shit is colonization. The root cause of this shit is colonization. And I hate to keep saying, like, you got to take accountability. You do. You still got to. It don't matter who fault it is. You still got to take accountability. And once you're grown, once you have control of your life, once you have control of your own autonomy, like, it's now up to you. So both things can coexist. It can be that person's fault or this thing's fault, but the goal is to allow it not to be yours. By taking accountability and making some changes in your life and realizing that you are the narrator of your own life. You make decisions about what you want in your life. Don't be so hard on yourself. If you make a wrong choice and you still got breath in your body, that means you got another day to figure it out for you. Mistakes are basically just literally a decision that you didn't like. Repeated mistakes is you creating your own hellscape, and I only pray that you can escape it, which you can because you're the one who created it. So you know how to get out better than anyone. But fuck the system.